As the global climate crisis continues to escalate, Europe, like the rest of the world, faces mounting challenges ranging from extreme weather events to biodiversity loss. Even as we speak, heat wave intensifies and wildfires rage in several European countries. Over the past decades, the continent has experienced a multitude of environmental challenges, including rising temperatures, sea level rise and loss of biodiversity. Over 80% of Europe's natural habitats are in poor shape, and at least 1,677 species out of 15,060 assessed European species are threatened with extinction, according to IUCN. As part of its Green Deal to make Europe the first climate-neutral continent, last June the European Commission proposed a regulation on nature restoration to preserve Europe's natural ecosystems and mitigate the effects of climate change. The regulation aims to restore ecosystems, habitats and species in the EU's land and maritime areas in the long term and to achieve the EU's climate and biodiversity objectives. The journey towards passing the law was anything but straightforward, and the vote exposed deep political divisions among EU countries and political parties. After months of fierce debate and outcry that saw the largest political group, the centre-right EPP, vehemently oppose the text, last week, on July 12, the European Parliament voted by a narrow majority in favour of the Flagship Law. Centre-right lawmakers had campaigned to kill off the bill, arguing that it could affect agriculture, fisheries, forestry and renewable energy and undermine food security in the EU. However, 6,000 scientists have signed an open letter claiming that opponents of the law not only lack scientific evidence, but even contradict it. Now that the law has already been passed by the European Parliament, this is what it means.
This law is nothing less than the flagship initiative of the European Green Deal. Nature and biodiversity pillar, and it's intrinsically linked to its climate pillar. It's the first EU legal proposal on nature since 30 years.
Restoration measures envisaged by the law should cover 20% of the EU's land and sea by 2030 and ultimately all degraded ecosystems by 2050. The Parliament can now start negotiations with the Member States in the Council on the final text of the legislation. After the law enters into force, the EU countries will have the period of 2 years to submit their own national restoration plans to the European Commission, to which they will then be bound.